welcome. If you're just joining us, thank you very much for joining us. And what I'll do in about the next 10 minutes is give talk a bit about the aims of the event, an overview of the rest of the day, show you the online things that we're using to support, and talk a bit about donations. And I'll hand over to Cindy Sugru, who's the director of the Dickens Museum, briefly to talk about the fundraising effort that's been going on. So Lydia and I, my wonderful co-host Lydia Craig, who is meant to be hosting this but is having a few storm-related audio problems, we really didn't want this anniversary to pass without there being some kind of commemoration. And if you're an academic, I think you will have felt the disappointment we all did, among all the other complicated feelings of this particular period, in not being able to come together for conferences this summer and network and share research and have that kind of joy. But also the non-academic side of commemorating Dickens's death, when there would have been the wreath laying in Westminster Abbey and that kind of thing. So we put this event together in just over 2 months, from nothing at the beginning of April to getting everything all together out by the end of April. And we're so pleased that so many people have joined us and presented their research and supported the Dickens Museum. So thank you all very much for your support. And thank you to Lydia Craig, my wonderful co-organiser, and to Deborah Sidaway, who's also providing some tech support for us today. Hopefully in my various emails, you found the live programme. If you're in this room, you've made it, you're in the conference, you don't necessarily have to do anything else and you'll still be able to participate all day. But there are parallel panels. And if you want to, if I'm sharing, no, that's not the right thing, sharing the right thing, then on our live programme, you will see that there are links or a meeting ID for parallel sessions. So you're staying here for the welcome and guidelines, you'll be staying here for roundtable number 2 and the keynote. When we get to 3 panels, you need to make sure you're in the right room. You can follow the link or enter the meeting ID, and then we'll come back here for anything else. We're also using Slack, which is basically like a chat room, and people have been having discussions about what they're working on, new publications, and continuing some of the chat from the papers. So feel free to introduce yourself there. Quite a few people have done. And if you feel that the Q&A sessions are too short, it enables you to continue the conversation, essentially. If you're not speaking, please keep yourself muted, just so that we don't get the background noise from different people's speaking. You can have your video on if you like, or you can turn it off, that's up to you. And some people I don't think will be using their video all day, and that's totally fine. If you want to ask a question, you can use the chat function. So at the bottom of your screen, there's a bubble that says chat. If you open that, you'll be able to talk to everybody. You can also raise your hand. And the way that you do that is on the bottom of the screen where it says participants. If you click participants, you should see a list of people, and then at the bottom of that list, there are some options including yes, no, and so on. So you should have raise your hand as an option there. And I'd like to test if we can do this. So can everybody please raise their hand pressing that button? Good stuff. Okay, so I think not everybody's here, so hopefully you've all found it. And if you also want to set yourself to away, if you have to step away, it's a very full program. Other than me, Lydia and Deborah, we're not expecting everyone to be here all day. That list of buttons, under more, there's an option to set yourself to away. There's a little clock, so you can use that to set yourself as away. I'm going to clear all the things now. Okay, so if you can use those functions, you're fine, you're sorted for the rest of the day. But you can use Slack, there's a help desk to ask any questions of me, Lydia or Deborah, or you can use the chat as well if you're having any problems.